Okay. I'll have to basically customize this shit, or is it customize? What the fuck am I talking about? To add. Sync it up, whatever. Christ, I hate the internet. Here I am, back on this piece of shit. Okay. Because D is a good enough name. We'll use that word, that phrase, that letter, whatever the hell it is, to describe me for now. It's good enough. And I wanted to talk about over some pinball, which is apparently a Sega board pinball machine. About why I'm not a gamer. Or as it is. Yeah, and that is game fuel bullshit, right? Either contradictory, stupid, or sarcastic right off the bat, so. That's a Sega pinball machine. Thank God. And so pretty much, as I define myself as kind of an ex-gamer, so that's what this whole segment will be called. I think it just kind of encompasses everything that I've kind of become over the years. It's basically all of my culture is like, well, first I guess I should kind of differentiate between like what is basically kind of like gamers as they're defined like culturally nowadays, as far as I can tell, and they're kind of just like know-it-all pricks. I don't know, like it's like, god damn it. I'm sorry, they are. I don't fucking care. It's we're not gonna simplify it. It's like not gonna oversimplify it like that. But we need some more context. Like, clearly this isn't scripted or anything. I am a dedicated YouTube underachiever.
Elizabeth? It's alive.
Fuck. Alright. Well, a gamer as they are nowadays, they're essentially defined by the internet, you know? How much you know more than the other person, or how credible you are by comparison with something. Like, there's that interpretation.
You're well guarded.
Like, the fucking, they're defined by as their internet knowledgeability, which is decided by, I guess, views or whatever. Me being a YouTube underachiever, god damn that dead zone. Oh, for those that don't know what a dead zone is, there's a space in between which the pinball can essentially like move like past the flippers without risk of being hit.
Live again!
Yeah, you can shake the fucking pinball machine and break it. That's a nice touch to this little collection of pinball machines.
My name.
Fuck. Yeah, that's some pinball machines have smaller dead zones than others.
All that I once loved lies in a shallow ground.
Damn straight. I guess it's kind of... God, it's going to be hard to concentrate with this shit. My mouth playing those guys. Yeah. My point is, pretty much, I'm a casual gamer now. I used to be like, hardcore, what people would refer to as a hardcore gamer. And the video game community just is kind of an antagonistic cesspool of bullshit. So it's, to me, like, when I see things like people getting trolled on, like, Dead or Alive 6 costume, shit like that, that's natural. I can just see it because the game developers are trolling their audience, because their audience are a bunch of know-it-all assholes. And it's like, I don't know what to... I find myself playing more PS3 games, but I don't have the ability to capture anything with. So it's like... One, because, you know... Oh, shit. Like, I enjoy, like, you know, I like the cell processor. Like the 8-cell processor, because it can basically... It has an in-game, like, or rather, in-console physics engine. You can check out the Ducky and the explosion simulation back in the day. The old E3 press conferences. Like it. And there it is, like, by comparison with, say, like, modern innovation, like, this is, like, standard, like, PS3 and Xbox One to me, or, like, they're kind of, like, half of the same console, with respect. It's just kind of like what kind of poison you want, really. It's like, it's a modern corporate synergy, in which, like, Sony's not allowed to put, like, a 8-cell processor with profits based on XYZ. They can't dump all their money into the production of a fucking, like, console, so... It's pretty much like... Another reason I find myself on PS3 is because the hard drive space was made for, say, games, like, lots of games, right? As the game console suggests. The modern consoles are made for stuff like this. Because the most, like, the most peaceable gamers you find that are not, like, assholes are casuals. So that's why this isn't a PS4 Pro, this is a regular fucking one. Which means it's only really good for Fortnite and... Fortnite. If I, like... Because pretty much if you take away something like Gran Turismo Sport, if you've been paying attention to this and you know that a lot of that's been, like, kind of going away from me, shit, I can't pay attention to Gran Turismo Sport. Like, this PC is sitting, it's recording me, is sitting where the wheel used to be. Alright. 5 billion points to your fucking That's fine, it's like, it's just casual stuff. And a pinball machine is a pretty, it's a reasonable way to relax. It's not like a lot of high stakes anything here. I'm not gonna become like master of the world by fucking playing goddamn pinball or some shit. Not that you would with any video game, but people get weird fucking ideas.
It's alive.
So anyways, the casuals are like having the most fun with these consoles because they have no investment in them. What's happening? Feature. Like, and this is like, games like Pinball are kind of like where where my interest will line up with that of a casual. And I feel I've become, in many ways, relative to the modern gamer, a casual. I feel to be a hardcore gamer, I have to be a PC gamer for that to really ring through. God damn. Sucking it up, whatever. Yeah, it's basically, the idea is basically just concentrate on having a conversation. Alright. Okay. So the majority of gamers that aren't assholes are all casuals. Everybody who knows something is trying to prove to everyone else that they know more than somebody else about something that no one will really care about. I'm speaking to an internet that essentially has no, what's the word, attention span. Like, if I play the same game for like a month is unheard of. The internet. So clearly I'm not like a competitive YouTube channel or anything, you know? Like, to play the same game for like a month, not like a week, is insane, because you have to move on to the next thing, and you have to keep, there has to be some modicum of entertainment value, whatever the hell, whatever that might be, whether it be putting someone else down, which is the other aspect of the gaming community, which is putting other people down, right? But one aspect of the professional video game, like competitive video game scene, is basically cheating. Like, just today, people were trying to modify controls on my, like, just playing, like, it was like, oh, Dead or Alive 5 and Virtua Fighter 5, and they're fucking with it. And we need to get into, like, Dead or Alive one of these days. Like, probably next one of these if I do one. It's 10 minutes. God damn. 125,000, that's what I can say. No, 25 million, excuse me. It is, that is pathetic, but anyways. Yeah. Fuck Dead Zone, god damn it. Alright, anyways. So pretty much... So the only people who are not being assholes as a community are your casuals. They're playing shit like this. And not being too invested in games that people will ultimately just cheat on anyways. Which is why we no longer have a... Oh my god. What the fuck was that? A professional gaming scene. We have people using like kind of like control algorithms, removing like stealing people's inputs. As I've mentioned before, again, if you've been like paying attention to this kind of thing. And it's all in service of appearing more knowledgeable about video games than other people. Maybe there is some kind of weird, kind of nefarious, I need to control the appeal, who's like influencing the appeal of certain games or not. Maybe there is something like that, but no other gamers really care because the casuals don't, and the people who are established don't because they're established. You know, they're going to get paid for whatever opinion they have on most games, right? Like... Fuck! Alright. God.
All that I once loved lies in a shallow grave.
Basically, your modern gamer is more interested in what people think about them than the actual fucking video game.
Say my name.
And the video game suffers as a result. So you have just a shit ton of people cheating to the point where the competitive video game scene is now completely invalidated. Like, unless it's like in a really self-contained area, nobody cares about the professional gaming scene. It's like fighting games for me will be the thing where all I can chime in on that the easiest, but I mean it's rampant. So when you have a bunch of people who all need to appear more knowledgeable than the other people to potentially get paid, it creates a culture of assholes. They're just like, I know more about this game than you, and they're like pissed about it because it means they might not get a meal based on it. Fuck. So games generally aren't fun. Like, it's so much so I have Sonic Forces now. Because, I mean, the reason why I play games are now like as an extension of a subculture, because I used to being an ex-hardcore gamer, I find myself excommunicated from the kind of player base that I used to be involved with, and now surrounded by these people who are just desperate for money, fame, or recognizability. There's some sort of recognizability involving these, like, these video games, because it's pretty much like free publicity that you can just, unlike movies, I can run video of this shit all day. Nobody will fucking care. It's just, it's publicity for the game, right? Like, so YouTube is basically oversaturated with free, free publicity for video games. But people want to be like, you know, they want to be that AVGN, they want to be that Angry Joe, they want to be that person. And so, as a result, there's no one to speak to about video games. Shit. Fuck. God damn it. Right. There's like, oh shit.
It's alive.
Okay. There's like no one to have any kind of like reasonable conversation with. So basically, something like as potentially like precious to me as what Sonic Forces, and I'm really enjoying the game, is I'll share something about that soon. Is that I'm going to keep those memories to myself. I don't want to share that with the internet. Like my initial impressions. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't want to. Oh god damn! I do not want to do that. What the fuck is happening? Oh my god! No shit. Like shit. All right, hold on. Like I will keep my memories or whatever of like Sonic Forces to myself. It's just because I don't want the value system of the internet essentially affecting that. You know what I mean? Because the value system of the internet is rip everyone else down so that you can become the next AVGN person. Where if there's any kind of reasonable control over the thought process, or rather the influence of like these multi-million-dollar games, there probably is. If there is, then you're just being an asshole for no fucking reason. But that's what makes up the average gamer, the average console gamer. And it seems as if the only people who've escaped this kind of nonsense, like Angry Joe or whatever, are people who've basically like kind of like gone to console games, or not console, excuse me, PC games, PC. Because there's a kind of like just do-it-yourself aspect to it, and beyond that, they're not feeling like this kind of crunch, like how I can't fit any games on my modern video game console because it's made for shit like this. They're not feeling that crunch. They're not feeling the huge difference as far as like convenience-wise between this and a PS3. You know what I mean? Like the game is like in many ways visually more like powerful, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But in other ways, it's very arguable. Like, because I mean, I have like in the PS3, I've got like an in-game, like I said, like physics engine. But these seem to be the only people who've been like not influenced by this. So when I see, you know, Tecmo Koei, you know, these companies are like fusing together, like Square Enix. Like, for the purpose of just, like, stabilization or whatever the fuck it is. Oh my god. Like, they're just... I'm not fucking surprised when somebody gets basically trolled by id Software or if they, like, you know, like the, what was it, the Christian rapper or whatever the hell it was that's happening on Doom? So that's a game I'll play, a modern game I'll play. Doom. But, like, it's that moment, you know? Where you like pass by a game, like a GameStop or whatever, and you're more interested in the GNC next to it. You know what I mean? Like, I now find myself more regularly going to the gym than I play my modern video game console. Like, and if it's not like just like if it's not the infrastructure of the game, which it might very well sometimes be, but that's just going to be variable regardless. It's going to come down to just preference, which no game developer can completely accommodate for preemptively without knowing that gamer or that group of gamers' opinion. Like, oh, shit. That's my fault. God. God, I fucking lost my train of thought. Like, I gotta remember what the fuck I was thinking about. Like, goddamn, I just had a complete brain fart. Like, fucking thinking about this shit here. Like, it's a pretty good pinball machine. And you can't shake it. Anyways, so I try to remember what the hell it was I was talking about here. Something about video game companies not being able. Oh yeah, video game companies trolling their audience. It's because their audience are a bunch of fucking know-it-all pricks. Like, or they want to. It's almost like, and I could be wrong. It's like, what is it? Fallout 76? Dead or Alive, hair change for $1, hair change back for $1. Here's like $1,000 subscription bullshit. I think it's just like almost like defensive to see. I mean, like it's almost like social experimentation to see which gamers are assholes to their products that just like want to put it down for no particular reason. Because there's that group of people, you know. Like, as in regardless of what the product is. So there's that situation. Which generally happens whenever, like, the preconceptions of a video game challenge, like, kind of, the credibility of a group of gamers or something like that that are now amassing some kind of, like, meal ticket off of their perception of said video game, right? Yeah. God. Alright, son of a bitch. So yeah, I find myself as someone who does. I play video games, but I don't define myself as a modern gamer. I simply don't. It's more like if it wasn't for Capcom and Sega, I wouldn't be playing video games. As I mentioned before on numerous occasions. Like currently, I'm playing House of the Dead, Overkill. Wii port on PS3 most consistently. Find myself going to, like, you know, going to the gym more often. I'll play the Sega Mini. So I mean, as far as like gaming culture, like looking into like things like gaming history and stuff like that, like, oh my god, why the hell did I do this? I don't fucking care. Oh my god, stop. Oh god, stop. Oh my god, what the hell is this? Oh, I gotta go through the control shit. Skip, please. Whatever. Yeah, okay, that works. Yeah, okay. 1 billion. I have no idea what that is. This shit does not save. Scores. Whatever. Whatever. Maybe it does. I don't fucking know. I keep forgetting what the fuck I put in here. But I haven't gotten further than the fucking 50, so who cares? Anyhow. Alright. Basically, if I can't play a game for fun, like, I don't see the point of playing it. If I have to play a game to prove my value, whatever the fuck it is, to a bunch of gamers who will never be fucking satisfied because they have to put me down for them to have their meal ticket, that's just not fun. And I know that's like, that's seemingly contradictory. I mean, I have to play a game and be miserable playing it, you know what I mean? Like, I've got to be fucking pissed because that's the entertainment value of the entire internet, is somebody fucking miserable. You know what I mean? They just got to be... Because everybody wants to know that there's somebody else more miserable than them. That's where we are in society right now. So, if somebody's playing a video game, they got to be pissed off doing it. Fuck! But yeah, like, I mean, what, am I gonna, like, share some stuff on, because there is also, like, a new generation of gamers that aren't bullshit, that aren't assholes. There is. Like, and it's reflected to me in, like, the Sega community, the Sonic community. I'm seeing this little trend, a little bit, of people who are just, like, having what appears to be fun. Like, not just with the game, but with the concept of Sonic the Hedgehog and shit. You know, I just peek my head in every once in a while, and sometimes just, like, let them be, you know? Because, I mean, like, I like some of the artwork they come up with and stuff, and I like it. I just kind of want to let them off to themselves, and just, because, I mean, me being, like, this older, whatever the hell, Sega person, I come off as just kind of like an asshole, you know? I'm just like, I'm from the time when there was a Dreamcast. So I'm like, I'm all bitter and shit, and they're all happy and fucking, like, they come from the time when Sega's just a software developer. So they're not like, they don't have that kind of like cynicism, bitter disposition, like, they don't have that. They don't have that cynicism bordering on paranoia concerning the fan base or whatever the hell it is. They don't have that. And so I just, like, leave them alone, you know? But I, like... you gotta be kind of self-criticizing to some degree. Not for... Shit. I'm gonna ask you here. So, by virtue of, like, this game being made more for casuals, this console, I have no reason to go to a GameStop because I've got Final Fantasy 15, and that takes up enough space. I've got 2 full-size games on this. I think Dark Souls 3, currently, and, and Final Fantasy 15. Everything else is like Mega Man. I'm probably gonna put the Skyrim on it. This, Sonic Forces. It's old stuff. Uncharted, the original trilogy, whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Like, fuck! Fuck, shit, fuck! God damn, alright, fuck, alright. Fuck, oh, god damn it all. Alright. Fuck you, fuck, that's dead zone, man. Fuck! I'm not ready! I'm straight. Yeah, like, this game has no... I feel this game has no social requirements, you know what I mean? There's not like, I have to be like the greatest motherfucking pinball person in the world. And I don't know, to some degree, like, I think it's kind of like what some of these games are for. And it gets even worse when I look at, like, old shit, you know what I mean? And the requirements for looking like you know something about old stuff, like classic video games, like NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, that type of shit, Atari, whatever. like the social requirements are you have to beat it like you would beat a modern game, which is a game you've never played before. Anyone who's ever played that without the aid of the internet knows it's fucking impossible. So everything comes off as like really fucking ridiculous. Like if you said somebody like, without the aid of the internet, or a strategy guide, or whatever the fuck, like, beat Castlevania Bloodlines. It's like playing a, you know, Castlevania game, right? It's like, no, you basically got your ass kicked by those games for years, and then you developed a sense of the trial and error, and then you, through that trial and error, just playing it over and over again, then you beat it over. So that's why I'm like, I'm not looking up game facts. Fuck that. I don't want to look for walkthroughs. You know, I don't want to do it. That's not how you play those games. And if I want to get the dollar value or whatever the fuck it is out of those games you might have from back in the day, you don't use that shit. So it's like, it's like they brought that modern gaming culture of being a know-it-all or the requirement of such to old games. And that just hurts. That's like, so, if I were to like stream something, or like, whatever, capture something of like the Genesis Mini by some off chance. Let's say I had the money for fucking like an HDMI capture shit to actually do that, or the patience to set up a little digital camera to have it piss poor fucking like angled at the fucking TV. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking show myself playing this. I mean, if I don't fucking like beat the game with game facts, so just basically stealing somebody's answer sheet, whatever the hell it is. If I don't do that, then what I'm doing is meaningless by virtue of the internet? So if I'd never played the game before, now the game's ruined for me because I now know all of its secrets before I've even, like, you know, I didn't earn anything relative. You're basically not getting the same experience as you would have with an older game you might have some kind of nostalgia for. So the experience is being warped by the expectation of the internet. And that just fucking hurts. That's like... But this is what is defined as a hardcore gamer now. It's basically somebody who looks up game facts or something, or... And it's usually somebody who plays, like, games, like, consistently. And I can only imagine they're fucking miserable because they probably like old games, but they're playing it in a way that they were not designed or intended to be dealt with. So, like, let's say you've never played Kid Icarus before, but you have, like, a streaming site. What's the only way your fan base is gonna give a fuck about you? Is if you beat the shit out of the game, right? Or if you fucking near speed run the crap. Some other nonsense, right? Like, I mean, you, like, they want you to be a little bit miserable or whatever, but, you know, eventually, you know, fucking, like, go on some sort of fucking weird game fact bullshit, and then fucking, like, they want you to beat it for some sense of, like, finality, but, like, for many people, games like Kid Icarus, Castlevania didn't have a sense of finality for many years. You know what I mean? It just didn't happen. You'd be playing Ninja Gaiden for your whole fucking life. Ninja Gaiden 1 on NES. Period. You know what I mean? Because what people nowadays don't know about games is that the older games were not made for a general audience. A general audience wants a sense of, what do you call it, completion or finality to something. That's how they opened the market up to your casual gamer. People who played, well, shit like this. And, like, fuck me. And, oh, fuck. And basically, like, those games were made not with like an infinite, like not with like a large amount of space or whatever. They just had, all they had was essentially that particular challenge or whatever, and that kind of like the rate of completion was phenomenally slower. Your expected completion date upon getting Ghosts and Goblins, like, for NES was in years. You were expected to beat that 6-stage level in years. In years' time. Not fucking like, not 15 hours, not 50 hours. Years. By virtue of it just being a series of antagonistic traps and things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Who am I?
Like just, that's what it was. Like, now there were certain games that were kind of like, that kind of follow a little bit, that kind of like define modern gaming, like, what do you call it? How do you say, how should we say pacing? That's games like, you know, well, frankly, you're Sonic the Hedgehog, you're Mario, the things that everyone generally knows about when they play video games. Those modern conventions, you know what I mean? Which is fine. They were hard, but you'd beat them eventually. Or they were more just enjoyable, right? For the most part. But even then, you generally beat them slowly with some kind of great difficulty, right? Basically, the longhand of what I'm saying is, if you're still watching this,
I once loved lies in a shallow grave.
that's the truth.
Like a die. Say my name.
Like,
It's alive.
fuck. Then you find yourself in this kind of minority. You don't like, it's like the idea of boutique game review stuff is weird to you. It's like, what's the point of hearing about all these games when my game console is not designed to take the games that are made for it? It's only designed to take one that's going to be a service that's going to be that way for a long time. The only game I'm interested in buying, there's a couple, okay. Rockstar, Sega, Capcom, id, okay. You know what I mean?
It's alive.
But it's like, do I want to play a fighting game with something like a know-it-all that has a meal ticket on his way to basically say that he needs to beat everybody and is probably going to cheat to get his meal ticket? No. I don't have the fucking patience. But that's what a gamer is now. It's like beyond. So like to define it on average, what does the word mean? Gamer? If it doesn't mean like look at it politically, it means someone who's basically someone who's a know-it-all, who is inept at something. Like if you're called gamer, it's back to a derogatory term. It was not a derogatory term for a short period of time. Now it's a derogatory term. Like if I want to play Gran Turismo and somebody fucks with the physics or some shit like that, now I'm just a gamer. I'm not someone who's interested in automotive. I don't have like, as if the identity of whatever it is I'm doing is tarnished by the fact that it's a video game. Even if it's a simulation video game, like it has no meaning. Like, so what does that mean about the word gamer? Like from a functional perspective, from a politically functional perspective, it means that you are basically technically inept, but a know-it-all about everything. Likely a con artist, or somebody who is kind of shifty when it comes to the relative rules about something when pushed. It basically means useless con artist. Or that's in the term of like hardcore gamer. That's like, unless you're like, again, you're already established and you don't have to bullshit like everybody else is. But that's generally what the gaming community's kind of devolved into. So I mean, like, am I still into game culture? Sure. I mean, like, I'm gonna be looking into like Sega Saturn shit personally. I don't even give a fuck what's on it. I just want to know what the fuck the thing was.
It's alive.
You know what I mean? I don't even care. I'm not looking for Panzer Dragoon or the crazy $200, $500 games. I just want to know what the hell it was. And it's pretty interesting. Like basically, oh my god, like CR 2032 batteries, whatever the fuck it is. Like basically I had to replace that shit. Like so for its internal memory. So I mean, until like that kind of definition changes, or changes back to what it was, it's pretty much like, of course your game developers are gonna troll your audience. They're gonna do that. They're gonna see what they can get away with. Because I'm certain on their side, there's like a degree of they're sensing or getting some kind of antagonism from a greater degree of gamers. They're not necessarily, say, Angry Joe or people who you hear verbalizing their opinions. It'll be somebody who's passive-aggressively not doing it, trying to get notoriety on shit like YouTube. And people like Angry Joe is not going to see it. AVGN's not going to see it. It's not their clique, it's not their group, it's not them. And when you really analyze it, they're the minority. You might be thinking, what about PewDiePie? Even like shit like that. Minority. So, like when you just basically think about the majority of people playing a PlayStation 4 or playing stuff like this. Not that I'm not like me. I like this fucking little arcade thing. Of course, I'm like trying to concentrate, which means I'm getting my ass kicked. Fucking dead zone. And I concentrate on this. So yeah, it's just pretty much like a. This is probably just a good way to break up the monotony of like just speaking. I just like reduce my face in like the corner of the screen and then like. And just stare at this shit. Yeah. So yeah, you're. So that versus like the collective like audiences of all these people. Like, if you're like an older hardcore gamer that doesn't have like a very successful YouTube channel, you're a minority, and your opinion matters a lot less. I'll be like sharing some stuff with Sonic Forces soon because yeah. Anyways, I guess I'll just like, kind of like play this out till I basically fuck off here in a second. Fuck! Alright. And then, that'll be the end of this talk. It's already fucking alive. Fuck!
Alive! I hate mystery.
Just talk about some of the pinball stuff, which would be a little bit easier to concentrate on. Like, there's got some pretty cool pinball stuff in this. You know what I mean? Like, found an old haunted house one that's got like kind of a mirror situation going on that I saw as a kid. They got that in this, like that you can buy. Oh, what a Ghostbusters one. Like, if I had like any kind of like criticisms of it, it's kind of like the paddles being completely digital and they have like, you know how you can like modify your hit based on like, or your like, you know, your paddle hit, whatever it is. Your paddle slap, whatever the fuck you call it. By like hitting the paddle, hitting the little button lighter. Since it's not analogous like that, so I can't, so pretty much it's like if you, when you play this, it's like you're playing it like really pissed off. Like, So if I appear super pissed or something because you're looking at the paddles, like, he's fucking slamming the goddamn... No, it's just like, that's just what it is. That's the only way you can hit the marble. The pinball. So yeah. Like real technical terms here, right? Basically, you can only hit it, you can only hit the pinball as hard as you physically could in real life without breaking it. So if I gotta do any more like weird vlogs or some crap like this,
Lock is lit. Say my name.
yeah, I'd probably start off with this because fuck, that's okay.
Lock is lit.
Yeah, what I need to do is pretty much like look up like look at some arcades that might maybe had some of these. Fuck! Ready? Alright. Fuck!
It's alive. It's alive.
Fuck!
No! Elizabeth?
God, Jesus! God damn it! Dead zone that. Wait a second, my fault. Fuck! Fuck! Oh, what the shit?
That's it! Live again! I'm not ready!
Damn it!
Alive.
Whoa! Oh my god.
Elizabeth!
Oh shit!
Creature. Elizabeth?
Fuck! That's
That's it! once loved lies in a shallow grave.